It's Wednesday, the 22nd. We're at the fire station for the Public Safety Commission meeting. I will call the meeting to order. The meeting is being recorded by the Public Safety Commission. If any other persons present or on Zoom or recording the meeting, please notify the chair at this time. Is anybody recording the meeting on Zoom or in the room? It's like we have a couple people that have joined, a dot and the three dots. Interesting names. Okay. All right. I will take a roll call. Commissioner Jarvis. Here. Moscaratolo is here. Commissioner Braff. Here. Commissioner Burge. Present. Commissioner Dixon. Present. We have a quorum. We are good to go. David, Commissioner Illinois wasn't sure he was going to make it tonight. He had notified me. So we're good with that. I don't have the meeting minutes, but the good news is Shannon is in the back room. She's awesome. She's going to be doing our meeting minutes and presenting, passing them out to me for the commissioners to approve. So next month we will start seeing meeting minutes starting with September. So thank you, Shannon. We appreciate you. All right. We'll move into public comments. I'll start with the room. Anybody in the room like to give public comments? Anybody on Zoom would like to give public comments? Now's the time to speak. That's right. Dot number 1, 3, and okay, so Ken. Anybody want to speak in public comments?
I just heard somebody.
That was her my phone. Oh. Okay, I'm gonna move on. All right, AMR is not here. They did send me their minutes for the month. I'll pass those out to the commissioners and we'll post those during the meeting minutes. So we'll move on and I'll welcome up dispatch.
What?
Yes, you're next. Dispatch. Just like that. We're gonna fly through this. And depending on my mood, I might not even let the police come up and speak. So.
He was on time today, so you gotta be nice.
Welcome, just state your name. We all know you, but for the folks in Zoom, good evening, Mayor.
Hello.
I am Cindy Hunter. I'm the dispatch supervisor for Greenfield Police and Fire. So for September, we had dispatchers inputted 3,353 calls into IMC. That was actually down a little bit from the month before, about 3,400 the month before. We had about 2,183 calls in and out of our 911 system, so we stayed pretty busy. It was again down slightly from about 2,300, but still busy. In September, we had per diems covered 70 hours for us in September. However, that number will definitely go up at the next meeting. As you know, we lost a dispatcher. September 19th was his last day. So just to give you a clue what our per diems are doing these days, just for October alone right now, they're covering 253 hours for us. So we are extremely grateful for our 4 per diems. They're taking on a lot. They all have either college or other jobs that they work. So it definitely takes some of the stress off of the full-time dispatchers, which we appreciate. I covered 64 or 70, about 70 hours in the month of September. I can skew my hours. I don't have to work daytime, so I've been working second shifts, which has actually been really good to work with the new people. So that's been good. As Commissioner Moscaratolo and I talked about the other day, unfortunately, we were supposed to introduce a new trainee to you guys tonight, but unfortunately, we've lost him already. Akira Hoshi. Okay. He only got about 6 shifts into training, but he came to me on Friday and he was very honest. He said, I don't think that I have the skill level that you guys need right now. And he said, you know, if I could do one task and move on, one task and move on. But, and I appreciated his candor and I appreciated his insight. So unfortunately we had to part ways, but I mean, overall, he was a really nice person. And I think he generally wanted to do a good job, but he recognized that it wasn't going to work. So we did hire another person in that last pool of candidates. So we do have trainee Drona Sharma will be joining us on November 3rd, will be his first day. He'll do HR that morning and then he'll come to us after that. Drona has a military background. He was Navy, I believe, and he also has a history in communications and security work. And he's worked with MEMA and FEMA and some of those agencies, and so he has that sort of emergency background to bring to us. So we're very excited to get him started. I spoke to him a couple of days ago, and he's pretty excited.
Could you please repeat the name?
His first name is Drona. It's Drona. His last name is Sharma. It's Sharma. As I said, we've been pretty busy. I just wanted to mention two actually structure fires we had in September. As I'm sure you guys know, we've talked about in the past. Structure fires are definitely busy for the fire department, but they're also very, very busy calls for dispatch, and weirdly enough, it's the first, I feel like 10 or 15 minutes of a structure fire call, which is the busiest for us, getting mutual aid in, coordinating all the different agencies coming into
Respond to
town.
vehicle accident at 185 Deerfield Street. Cross streets are 20, Meridian Street.
Dispatchers have to, when we say we're partners on shift, you really have to be a partner on shift when there's a structure fire call. It's very, very busy. So I'm extremely proud of the dispatchers who were working. I mean, I'm proud of them all, but definitely during those calls. I'm definitely proud of them. Dispatcher Croto is one of our per diem. She was working during one. I was actually working with her, and Dispatcher Lavin was working for the other one. Who did a great job as well. I wanted to mention that a couple weeks ago, I was invited to the Moose Lodge by Commissioner Burge and Dixon. The ladies of the Moose invited me to be a speaker at their rally, their yearly rally. I guess each rally has a theme, as I've now learned, and their theme this year was first responders and public safety. And so I was very honored that they asked me to be a speaker. I learned a lot from the ladies of the Moose, and that group was a really nice group to hang out with for the day. So I appreciated that. So thank you both for inviting me. Dispatch, I just wanted to mention, also participated in the Fall Public Safety Day at the Franklin County Fairgrounds. Dispatcher Meefoot and Luda Sherstakova came with me, and we had a tent and a table, and we handed out a lot of educational stuff to the kids, and we handed out candy, and I think it was a good time for all of the kids. And they certainly, lots of fire trucks and cruisers and dogs, and so I think it was a good time for everyone involved. Coming up next month, the tech school is having their career fair, so we were invited to have a table there. So I've been in contact with Ann McCarthy at the tech school, and we're coordinating having a table. I'm working with hopefully the chief to get some materials for us to hand out to the kids, or young adults, I should say. Give them some educational stuff about dispatch, and hopefully maybe bring in some young people who are interested in looking at that as a career.
Has there already been any conversation with AMR to maybe have them participate in that also?
I know from speaking with Sergeant Cloutier that she wasn't sure if the police department was going to participate, but there was no mention of AMR. I'm not sure if they're even aware of it. I can reach out to one of the truck supervisors, Sue Ellen Bellows.
I think it would be a good idea.
If she's aware of it. I think it's a great idea. So yeah, I'll reach out to her.
They have great training programs and paid programs for people to. Oh, can you say the date again for that?
I believe it's the 23rd of November, but I will have to confirm that. And I can, if I'm incorrect, I can send you a text.
I can also send Patrick and Kim message too.
Okay, perfect.
Sunday.
Commissioner, do you have a question?
23rd is a Sunday, so.
Oh, then it's not the 23rd then. I will have to I'll send you a text when I'm in my office and just confirm that. And then lastly, I would like to just make mention that dispatch lost a friend this past week. I should say first responders in Greenfield lost a friend this week. Faith Rockwood, I'm not sure if you all are familiar with her.
I am.
Faith was a huge supporter of public safety and first responders, and especially of dispatch. She would often show up at dispatch with pastries and brownies and cookies and treats. And she actually, a couple of years ago, she gifted us with this beautiful wooden thin gold line flag that now hangs on our center wall. And she unfortunately passed away this past week. She was very passionate about the military, supporting police officers, firefighters. And we are very sad that she passed away, and we will definitely miss her and her support. So our condolences go out to her family, her friends.
I know her granddaughter. So
Okay,
Great.
yeah, she was a
Thanks
great,
for posting that on your page too.
yeah, that was great.
That was nice that you
She
posted
forwarded
that.
that. So I think that that's all I have so far, unless there are any questions.
Commissioners, comments?
I just would like to make comment that the women was really greatly appreciated having you come and join us on Rally Day. So it was equally exciting to have you there and participate
that.
and just speak about what you do and what public safety is all about, which is what we were, one of our goals was education.
Well, I appreciate that you guys use that for the educational part of that. I mean, again, all the ladies that attended that were fantastic, and I met some
They're a
great
lot of
people
fun.
from everywhere, especially the ladies from down the Boston way.
Yeah.
They were great.
So
Yeah.
unfortunately, that day, I believe the police department and the fire department had another
Yes.
Montague thing going on, and they couldn't come because I invited everyone, all this public safety to go. And we were waiting for Frank, but I mean, he couldn't get out of the other one early enough to come. and
But
be
he
in the
showed up
spot.
this week.
But, yes, yes. So this week we gave out the gifts, the snacks and toys and stuff to them at our next week.
I don't know if you even saw how many we collected that day, but there were, because we kind of put them in the corner, but there were a lot.
That's nice. That's great. I always appreciate every year seeing the Tommy Moose dolls come out. So I know there's been something going on at the Moose and we see those dolls show up. So, and the kids love those. That's a great thing you guys do. So.
Do you have any training updates for that you?
So I actually had a conversation with two of the ladies at 911, state 911 this past week. So they have not approved our training grant yet. It was hinging on, it's been approved. So it was hinging on one class being approved from last fiscal year. It was being held up by that one class that had not been approved, that a dispatcher had taken. And so there were all these hoops to jump through to get this done. And so it sounds like, I have not read my email today, but it sounds like we've finally gotten over that hoop or that hurdle. So what that means now is that dispatchers can start looking for classes to take. We're hopeful that we will be able to have back public safety group, or there's several others that we've worked with in the past to do in-person trainings. Unfortunately, as I've mentioned to you guys before, in-person trainings don't happen that much on this side of the state. Unfortunately, everything is 2 hours down Route 2, Boston down that way. So rather than having to travel all that way, we'd rather, and we coordinate with Montague, we coordinate with Shelburne Control, and they come down and they have taken classes here. So we hope to do that again this year. So when that starts to happen, or when we get that coordinated, I'll definitely keep you updated on that.
Okay, great. Excellent.
Oh, and I'm sorry, one other thing, we do have our CGIS audit coming up, which we're all not looking forward to, I think. The state every 3 years, they require an audit of the CGIS system, which is the state-run system that we run license plates and people and criminal backgrounds and all of that stuff through. They've provided a guide to the audit. There's all kinds of things that I have to do. The chief, the deputy chief have to have some input. IT has a lot of input into this, and so we all kind of have to coordinate. I think the 13th of next month is our date for our audit. It's been pushed off a little bit because the auditor was not available. It was actually supposed to be tomorrow, but it was pushed off a little bit. So the 13th of November is our audit date. So
And that's at the police
it should be
station?
at the police station. I think it's at 1:30. And she assured me, she was very, very nice, the auditor. She's a retired police officer from down Boston way. She said, it's not a pass or fail. She said, we come in, we review what you're doing, we check everything out. You provide us your materials, we go over it with you, and then we give you 90 days to make any sort of improvements or changes, or so they give us the opportunity to improve where we need to improve and hopefully get up to par. So
Sounds like you won't have a problem.
I don't think so. I think we'll be fine.
Yeah.
And I'm definitely learning a lot through this process, so.
Any other comments, questions? All right, thank you, Cindy.
Thank you.
Appreciate you. We'll invite the fire department up next. Chief is solo tonight.
Hello. For everybody out there, Bob Strand, our Chief Emergency Management Director. I'll keep my comments brief tonight. I just want to talk a little bit about what's on the agenda. The first one is our call volume. We did roughly 300 calls in the last 30 days, so it's been fairly active. About 62% of them are EMS calls. In that, like Cindy mentioned, there was a couple structure fires. A couple highlights with that. First, our dispatch center, as always, did a great job with the dispatching of that. Not only did we have our own in-house fires, but we had a fire on Third Street in Turner's Falls. The three fires combined was the automatic aid was utilized on each one of those fires. And I will tell you from being in Turner's and being on the fire in Green River Road that we had, it's something else to be able to look around and have the NFPA first alarm compliant staffing showing up at a fire within 10 minutes. Between the our engine company and ladder company that was on duty, and the engine company from Turner's that was on duty, with command staff, we were able to put about 11 firefighters on each one of those fires. So that's what it's intended to do. We are rated from ISO on our ability to be able to be in compliance with certain things, and that's one of them. So that will improve our ISO rating a little bit. It is has its own section within the rating when it comes to mutual aid.
Is that the first time that?
No.
This is the first time
No,
that.
we've done combined. It's been about 5. I think 2 at Turner's, 3 for us.
And it's worked well for all.
It works great. It works great. So our 2 departments, because of the size of our departments and how busy the 2 departments are, we basically are very close in the way that we operate. And so we look at equipment, we look at training, we look at procedures, and we do a lot together. And this has just brought that to the next level, and it's working fantastic. So couldn't be happier with that. So, and the fires that they came to us and the fires we went to them were fires we would have gone to anyways.
Yeah.
It's just happening a lot quicker.
Yeah.
So. The overtime, our overtime is about projected. Remember, this is projected. We're only in October. But we did go through our heavy vacation season, and with the incredible amount of numbers of firefighters down, our overtime is projected to be over of about 42,000 right now. It could go up a little bit, but it's projected to be at 42,000 now. Important to keep in mind with that, we're not over, we're projecting that. But with the shortcomings we had, I was thinking it was gonna be 3 times that. So we made some adjustments, we did some changes, we moved people around, we did a lot of things to try to keep that in balance, and it paid off. I don't know what the rest of the year is gonna look like in regards to overtime. I'll get into that with staffing, where we are with staffing and some of the challenges that we have. But I'm pretty pleased with that. Any questions about overtime?
No, I mean, that's good. I mean, you don't want to have tons of overtime anyway, but it's good that you really worked hard. You came up with a plan, because we know what you went through with the staffing, so
Yeah.
appreciate that.
There was still a considerable amount of overtime that had to be needed, but we were able to keep the costs down substantially, so.
Thank you.
Shannon, the administrative assistant for the fire department, is now the Public Safety Commission's clerk. The mayor and I had some conversations about having Shannon assume that. Shannon volunteered to take on that role. We made some adjustments to her pay schedule, if you will, because of the new responsibilities, but now public safety has a clerk. And the first set of minutes have been completed and will be submitted to the clerk. So we'll get caught up on the other ones, but I am thrilled. I'm so happy Shannon has taken this on, and will be joining us at meetings and doing the minutes, so.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Shannon. We appreciate you. That's very good news.
The ladder truck is here. It will be set up for your end of your meeting, so you can go see it when you're done.
Excited about that.
The cost of the ladder truck was just over $1.8 million. And want to publicly say thank you to the mayor for somehow finding the free cash in combination with the ambulance revenue account to not have a borrowing or a debt put on the city. It has been paid for outright, which is pretty remarkable. It replaces a 25-year-old piece of equipment, and it is a beautiful truck. We're in the process of drilling on it. We had the factory aerial and pump training on it last week with all the groups. Every group has had it, and now the groups are working on getting in service and training it all the time. You will probably see when they go on regular routine calls for alarms or whatnot, you'll probably see the ladder if you drive by in operation going to the roof or whatever until they get comfortable operating. They drill with it all the time, but when they go on calls to different places, they're throwing it, and they're doing a great job, and it's a beautiful truck. It's modern, it's safe, and we're thrilled to have it. So great. Staffing and promotion, as I mentioned earlier, we still have a couple challenges. It seems like when we get firefighters back, we lose another one. So we had a captain that has been having some non-job related medical issues. He's been out for 6 weeks and could be a little bit longer. So we're making arrangements to cover for him. Obviously, we know about Captain Whitney. Return is not expected anytime soon. We have 2 members that are going through retirement right now. So those 2 members are not working. So we get ahead and then we fall behind. I'm happy to report that 3 members that were recently hired have made it through the academy with flying colors. And Matt Gardner specifically was the class representative chosen for an award for outstanding recruit. And somehow, I don't know how, but made it through the recruit program, not a single demerit, which is unheard of. So we are proud that he did that, and all 3 of them did a great job. They're all on shift, they're all been assigned to shift, and they're working. One of them is still not cleared on the ambulance, but he will be soon. And then the newest recruit started the academy the week the other one's graduating. So we'll get him back in 10 weeks or so. So everybody's doing great with that, but we are still down, and we still have challenges. So as I said, our overtime is projected to be about 42,000. I am going to say that that's probably going to be a little bit higher than that.
So what is the plan to fill the staffing that we're down? Are we gonna be doing are we looking at entry level positions? Are we gonna be doing interviews?
So right now, I'm on paper, and more importantly, budget wise, I am fully staffed for what we've asked for. So all the salaries are still being paid. So there is no room to add additional firefighters to cover that. We did with our newest recruit, we did add him knowing that we have a couple folks coming offline, and the anticipated time that they come offline is what we're using for his salary. But beyond that, no, we're not going to be hiring until we get a better sense of where we are bottom line with our budget. With that also said, we have 2 acting lieutenants positions. Their exam process and assessment center is next week. It will be conducted at Jadoots on Main Street. We have, I believe it's 8 candidates going for lieutenant, which is unheard of. There's 8 of them that will be competing for the process. In addition to that, we have an acting captain right now that's filling in on the day position, covering for the absence of Captain Wendy. In addition to that, one of my shift captains is a non-job related injury right now, and we will be having to move somebody up to cover the captain's position, which would mean a lieutenant, and then a 3rd acting lieutenant. But we haven't made any moves on that right now. So as always, it seems that staffing is when you feel like you're getting it under control. Yeah, problems. So, and then going into the last item, which is the budget updates, I pretty much just addressed that. Budget is a challenge. We're doing our best to maintain with what we have. We have been successful and received some grants as of lately to help offset some needed costs. One of them is that we received 12 ballistic personal protective equipment sets from Homeland Security. They are 12 ballistic vests and 12 ballistic helmets. And as I said, probably 2 years ago now, as we try to get our department outfitted with that, I never believed that the fire department would ever be in a position where that's going to be standard issued equipment for firefighters. And it's actually a kind of a sad reflection of the state of the world that we're in. But the reality is that when something bad happens, the firefighters are on the front line and saving lives, God forbid. So we need to protect them. But we received a grant for that, and it's in, and we'll get the firefighters all trained up on it and get that in service.
Do you know how much the grant was for?
Yeah, I don't know the price offhand, but somewhere between, I think it was between 20 and 30.
Does it add a lot of weight to their equipment?
They're very heavy. It's steel plate on the front and the back, and it wouldn't be worn when they're wearing their turnout gear. It would be worn, God forbid, they had to follow the police downrange after they secure it to treat victims. So.
I was thinking if they had to wear it in addition to the turnout gear, that's another.
No, the reality is that I read it daily of horror stories about fire departments that are increasingly becoming under attack. There was one recently where firefighters were called to a set fire and they were ambushed. We're doing everything we can, God forbid something ever happened here, that we try to get our firefighters protected.
Anything else, Chief?
No, that's it. Unless you have anything for me.
Anything for the commissioners? We thank you for your time. Appreciate it.
We'll have the ladder set up for you.
I'm looking forward to that, yes, tonight. Thank you. Very. Next, the Greenfield Police Department.
You guys all have to climb that ladder. Yeah, like,
What did you say?
Climb the ladder. You're gonna climb the
I'll
ladder.
climb the ladder, sure. I have no problem with that. I'll be right behind you.
Pushing all the way.
That's scary.
So for the Zoom folks, please introduce yourselves.
Chief Todd Dodge, Greenfield Police, Screen Deputy Chief.
Sergeant Emily Rowell, Panache, Greenfield Police.
We'll get to the other one.
To be nice.
In the flow. We can jump to that. So, as you know, Chairman, we had a series of oral board interviews.
We did.
And after that, the selection, we picked Jake Sewell as our next full timer. So what Jake represents is the first
First ever.
of the new training program that we're implementing right now, which is trying to front load training prior to an academy. So because of changes in post in 2021 and so on, people cannot serve as police officers with arrest powers until such time as they complete a full-time academy. That full-time academy doesn't start now until March. So we'd be sitting there spinning our wheels on in order to forecast that basically is an academy starting in March. Our tentative new hires would be sitting there waiting in the wings until such time as March comes around. Most of the time they move on to other things. So then they're gone for 6 months, which puts us in September, and then 3 months training subsequent to that puts us to December of 2026. So taking that into account, we're down one. We are literally within the next 2 months, gonna be down 3 more. So Jed Henry left us. Jake is filling that gap. Jason Haskins, as you know, which we'll get to, is taking the chief's job in Montague. There's another gap. And then Marcus Paul and Jason Kratz both gave their formal letters of retirement. All of that's gonna take place before December 1st. So we're hoping Jake is sort of the guinea pig to try to preload training so that when he comes back from the academy, it's not 3 months. Hopefully we can get him out of an academy and follow through with about a month and maybe have him on the road in October of 2026. Not saving a ton of time, but 2 months is gonna be 2 months by then. So in the meantime, we're still hoping we can attract academy train. We're always looking for that, and we're gonna be going to job fairs and we're gonna expand all that stuff. So with that being said, I'll introduce Jacob Sewell as our newest Greenfield police officer. So one other thing is that Jake, we got together as a command staff. And what we decided is Jake has a uniform, long sleeve, standard uniform, no badge. So that's the difference. So upon graduating from an academy, he will get him a badge. Likely he could be in the academy with 2 others or more at this point, all of whom will be pinned at the conclusion of their academy, which then signifies their rights of arrest and full-time police powers. So Jake Sewell.
Welcome.
I'm Jake Sewell. Thank you for having me. I've lived in Greenfield my whole life. I'm 25. My grandparents, mom, dad, all lived in Greenfield. So, I'm happy to work for Greenfield. So far it's been good. I'm on day 3 right now. So there's a lot of information right now.
Almost done.
Yeah, a while ago. But yeah, I live in Irving with my girlfriend and we got a puppy. It's been fun.
All right, 1 point for that one.
Yeah, I'm excited.
So I think this new way of looking at it and program is a great idea because, the fact is you have an interview, 1 or 2 interviews, you hire somebody, you send them to the academy, you don't really know the person. They get back from the academy. Sometimes they don't make it through the academy, you've already spent the money. Sometimes they get back and they don't make it through the in-house training. So this is a really great decision that you and the deputy and the others came up with. So I just want to commend you for that. I think it's just a great way to look at it, especially in this day and age where it's hard to find people that want to do the job.
And the city's dealing with this right now. So we hired, he's in the academy right now. Nobody knows him. Right? Thankfully, we check in and everything's going good. And I don't suspect there'll be a problem, but you just don't know. So, again, as important as the early training, the preloaded training for our new hires right now is that vetting process. And Jake's very well aware of that too. We're not going to waste any resources and send someone to a 6-month academy if they can't do it. This is the opportunity for us to see that before we spend all that money. Sergeant Rao is the one to look to talk about that training because that's her work. So she's jumping back and punting right now because we don't have a program. It's on her, and she's been in charge of the field training program for a long time on the supervisor level. So, and it just so you guys are aware as well, and she can talk to it more, is in the immediate future, Emily is being tasked with taking over as much of Lieutenant Haskins' roles as possible, which is pretty immense considering he's got accreditation, which in and of itself is an animal. He's doing the cadet program, which he'll continue to do for Montague. We'll still have input in it. But the list is long. So once we heard about it, which wasn't only just a couple days ago, Emily was sort of shifted into an administrative sergeant position to start alleviating some of the tasks lieutenants have to perform. And now we had to switch gears almost, she never even got an opportunity to do
It was
that.
very short-lived, maybe. a
So we
couple
never even
days.
implemented our plan. I'm like, well, then Lieutenant, you gotta train Emily like yesterday. So she's been scrambling around the building, trying to chase Jason around
Now, she also.
Is she taking
and
her,
she catches them.
she taking her daytime shots?
She catches them pretty good, yeah.
It's not very easy, Dave. It's really not.
She also
It's an
did-
adjustment.
It's also studying for the lieutenant's exam.
Yeah, we don't have an exam. We do more of like an oral board selection process, yeah. We kind of pared it down over the years, because it kind of makes sense. But again, there'll likely be a process coming up, so the lieutenants, their process only lasts 6 months. After which we have to do a new process in the event one opens up. Now, that was done because they don't generally open up that often. But they do now, because that's where we're at. The sergeant's list will remain effective until March of 26. So we already have a list there, we went through a process. Our first promotion to sergeant off that list was in March, so that list will last until March, but the lieutenant's one's already expired, so. we'll do that.
So we'll be doing interviews, or there'll be a process.
That's
for that. So the training what's the date of the academy for Jacob? March.
I
So
believe
there'll
it's
be
March
training-
2nd through August.
Is training that you're gonna be handling for?
Yes, we are figuring it out as we go. Like the chief said, we got him set up with at least a couple of sets of what we have coveted as his pre-academy training, trainee, recruit, uniform for wearing on duty. And right now, like he said, he's just on day 3 so far. So we're getting a lot of his access to all the programs, kind of familiarizing him. He previously worked at the sheriff's department for a period of time, so he has a little bit of experience with at least, working with the community and a lot of the individuals that might be familiar faces down the line, which is very helpful. And so we're going to figure out how to cater and adjust the training program to somebody pre-academy without the previous criminal law, procedural law, stuff like that. So we're working on building that out.
And that
currently.
should be something you're building up, that will be like a standard moving forward, if we do this for other folks.
Correct, yes, especially like the chief said, with the impending retirements and transfer of the current lieutenant elsewhere. We will have additional openings, which we'll hopefully be able to fill very quickly. And be able to, unfortunately, Jake is the guinea pig for it for now. So we'll hopefully iron out some of those bumps and bruises on the way. And then
Commissioners have questions, just now. What's the evaluation gonna look like before, to say, yes, Jake made it, he's going to the academy? I mean, it's gotta be an evaluation, right?
So for the full-time academy trained recruits, we have our DOR program. It's the evaluation program, the computer program that we utilize. We are utilizing that for him. It's just different tasks that we are
Yeah.
checking off on, the more basic tasks. He can access this, he's familiar with this. And another big one that we have noticed after the academy trained recruits come through is orientation. So we're driving him around. He's worked a lot with Community Resource Officer Llewellyn and his partner Frank, especially over the past few days. And so he's getting out into the community, getting his face seen, and hopefully working a little bit more on those orientation things, being able to listen to the radio, sitting in hopefully soon with Cindy in the dispatch center so we can hear what a radio transmission sounds like, those codes that we use, the alphabet that we, have to be really familiar with. Running information, knowing how to read that information is a huge jump forward for somebody before even going to the academy. I think that's a really, really huge advantageous thing that we can give him.
So go ahead, sorry.
What shift will you be working?
He's currently on admin schedule, Monday through Friday, 7 to 3.
Right.
And that might adjust. He might spend some time downtown with you, with Officer Smith. With Sheriff Deputy
Did you see
McClay.
that pity look?
The training.
I will do it hopefully before it would get too cold out there. But that is the plan at least again, seeing more faces, getting to know more people, getting to meet you folks, and working alongside you, walking downtown, meeting business owners and all that sort of stuff. So that's where we're headed.
So not to be harsh, and I know Jake, you're gonna make it through, all right, because I know you, and to ask the question, but at some point in time, when it gets closer to his academy day, they'll be like, yep, you passed your evaluation, or you didn't pass your evaluation, we apologize, but there's gonna be some type of decision made officially that, yes, you made it through, now you're ready for the academy, right?
So here comes, this is where it gets really cool, is that we are totally revamping our training program as well. So prior to us having this mass exodus, we started the rebuilding of our field training program. And it hasn't yet been rebuilt. But what's happening is we had some issues with our training program in that our officers, the trainers, seemed to be focusing more on ratings than they were on trainings. So I ordered the ratings removed so that officers, the trainers had to put narratives in there rather than numbers. And that to me was more substantive. I want to know what they did. I don't care what a 2 or a 3. Human nature is that everybody rates a 3 because they don't want to comment and add the additional narrative. So that was step one. I ordered them gone. I said, all we're doing is rating, we're not training. The goal of a training program is to train. So we got together, we discussed that. Those are gone. So now what happens is our trainers, with the help of their supervisor, Sergeant Rao, and previously Lieutenant Haskins as the training coordinator, constantly review what they call DORs. They're the daily observation reports. Every day a trainee is assigned to an officer. That officer must complete a training report. We follow those narratives now, which shows how the training is tracking. Where this gets different is we're going to keep meeting about this. We're going to determine what is the litmus test to say this person is going to get through to the academy, because we don't have that toggle yet, right? So we're going to build that into the system.
Okay, great.
Yeah, a lot of it's just going to be, are they there? Are they responsible? Are they showing up? Are they, neat and orderly? Are they compassionate out in the field? Because they're going to be out there, they're going to be seeing stuff. We have an idea of where we want to go, and we certainly have an idea of where we don't want to go, which is backwards. So, we'll keep eyes on that. The right people are going to be put in the right places.
Well, the training that Jake has to go through after he gets back from the academy, because he's had all this training, will that be sped up and will he be out on the street on his own because of this extra training?
That's the hope.
That's the
So
whole.
right now, like I said, you go to an academy, the individual who's in the academy first right now is gone for 6 months. We hired him, he left. After that, it's at least 3 months. You're gonna have at least 12 weeks of what the state police would refer to it as break-in. We call it our FTO program. 12 weeks is your average, could be more, could be less, depending on the individual. Our hopes is to drastically reduce that amount of time. I don't know if you worked before a full-time academy. We all worked before a full-time academy before because you could. I didn't lose all that when I was gone for 6 months. I was able to come back. I didn't even get trained after we got back. We was thrown in the car because we had already ridden for 6 months, a year prior on our own. So we're trying to mock that up a little bit with our new hires. Again, Jake being the first, but we'll have more. So the likelihood is we're hoping, even though they don't have a badge, they can't make the arrest, they can certainly see them and help with them and work through the vast majority of calls that they're likely to see. The academy will wave the wand on them, meaning they pass their radar certs, they pass their DT certs, all that other stuff that they have to pass. So then all we need to do is when they come back is we want to watch them for a little bit, probably with more of a shadow, and make sure now they can apply everything they learned as well as the previous training before the academy to mitigate any potential liabilities. Off they go, cover the scene.
Plus learning the software, the policies, that's a time consuming job, because policies are somewhat formal policies. Learning all the softwares we use, the IMC, if we can put a dent in that, that'll speed up the learning when he gets back to. And the report writing stuff, he's gonna be assisting with some report writing, and because we're finding a lot of I don't want to say failures when it comes to report writing nowadays. They're not really strong writers. So hopefully we can build.
Makes sense.
I have a question. Catch me up on what happened to the reserve academy, to the reserve.
So post the Police Officer Standards and Training Commission, starting in 2021, they basically indicated that all officers must have the equal level of training. There's only one standard. So that 400 hour, for me it was 120, but it got a little longer over time, maybe 250, 300 hour reserve officer training won't work anymore. They won't accept it and allow anybody to have police powers out of that anymore. You have to have a full-time academy and a full-time academy only, which is 6 months full-time. It's killing little departments. We're feeling it right now, but imagine the Colerains or the Hall, they can't even, their budget isn't enough to send someone to an academy for 6 months. So they're getting eaten up by other departments. Regionalization is becoming a thing more and more. It has to be. But with us, at least we can fight through it. It's gonna hurt. I mean, we're meeting Friday morning, the command staff, with the unions. So I asked for their input as to what we're gonna do when we're down these 4 and potentially a 5th person, because it's going to affect shift coverage. You know, we want to have a downtown business district officer. We may not be able to have it to the extent we have it right now, but we want to keep it. You got detective, we got these specialty assignments that are very important. You know, Matt Llewellyn and Frank cover a very massive mandate for us. And can we keep them doing that? I don't know. So we're going to ask for input from the unions, and probably for the first time ever, we're going to get their input. They're gonna have a stake in it, and we're gonna talk together and try to figure out a way to go about this. So, the training's a big deal. So that to answer that, there's no more reserve again.
Any other questions on that?
Just had one question, just because I'm not familiar with the process, but is there a DOR for Jake and other recruits to do? Like, maybe not daily, but is there some self-reflection or weekly
Built into the
reflection?
system, yeah,
Okay.
M can talk.
Good. That's
It-
good,
yeah,
because
it's built
it's
into
important
the
to have.
system. And as the FTO supervisor, it's my responsibility to meet with not only the FTO, the person training the recruit, but also the recruit weekly to check in, see what's going on, see if there's any changes or what we could be doing better, what we could be doing differently, what things are going well. So just kind of like that more regular check-in, so we can adjust things as we go, and that's sort of their ability to respond back and give some of their input of how they think it's going as well. And then they meet with the field training coordinator after each sort of month of being with us to do the same.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, thanks, folks. You want to continue with
Stats,
Yeah.
stat masters.
Stats for September, 3,585 calls, we're only down 17. Always hovers in that area anyway. Time spent on calls went up 435 hours for a total of 2,296. Calls handled in downtown district went down 44 calls to 264. Incident reports went down 9. 161 for September. Accidents were down by 5 at 48. Arrests were up by 5 to 63, and citations went up 42 to 205. Largely, like we talked about last month, Jed Henry was a big motor vehicle guy,
educator.
and then everybody is now stepping up their game, fulfilling where he left off. So
We had to ask for that, because people have to change and pick up the slack in different areas, so we put it out to the command staff. Come on, we're looking for some voluntary compliance here. You were used to writing in the 200s a month. If you remember last month, it was a big dip. 70 something, it was like 79 less citations, so they stepped up to the plate, is what you're seeing there, and they woke up, and others who hadn't been writing a lot started to write, so we're back to the meeting.
The downtown calls have been, I don't remember all the monthly stats, but I think that because we have a presence there, those are probably we're preventing a bunch of calls. I would say just by the presence of being downtown.
in between like Zoe and Jake, yeah, they're everywhere downtown.
You gotta remember, some of them calls is just them walking the beat. They're logging a beat walk, right? So that's a downtime call. It's not necessarily means they're interacting in a bad way with anybody. It just means that they're down there doing something. That's why it's in there.
Moving on to special reports, our video phone that communicates from the substation dispatch was vandalized a couple weeks ago. Someone sprayed some unknown substance all over the lens, can't get it off, don't know what it is. Don't know how much it's gonna cost to fix, so when people call for help, it's just a blurry screen right now.
Between.
They tried Google on and all that kind of stuff, and this didn't go off. No, not yet.
We get a camera over the door, so next time somebody attempts to do that, we know who did it.
Okay.
Maybe that, I know
There's
it's
one
possible, I know
there's
our
one
IT
exterior
department
one.
has some cameras downtown, that can be,
Reviewing that, I reviewed the exterior camera for at least the
Yes.
like 48 hours before that. It takes almost 48 hours to watch all of that footage backwards, even sped up a little bit. It's difficult, but we weren't able to locate anybody on the camera. I tried. Really tried.
sounds like a job for the new guy.
There'll be a lot of that.
Cool. Hopefully we'll find something to take that off and it'll stay there, because it's not a cheap item to replace. We talked about some of the stuff on cruisers. We have titles for 2, they're on the bill line, but there's 2 recalls. One recall they have a solution to, and the second recall, they don't have one, and they know no one's gonna happen.
So what does that mean?
So it means we're not gonna, yeah, he's gonna take a position on any cars until they can figure out the second recall. And that could be a day, it could be a month, it could be.
The factory's telling you this?
I don't know
Yes.
if you're aware, but we're having a little issue with cruisers.
With what?
So this was great news.
What is it called with cruisers?
But our crew, yeah, we're having a little issue.
Well, these were the new cruisers
Brand
you're
new.
talking about.
Yep.
Yeah,
Right.
and they're EV.
No, the truck did come in, but it's not on the line being built yet.
Okay,
The other 2 are built. Yeah, they can't release them now with recall.
but one of them you can release, you know the recall, right? Or they both have.
So they both have 2 recalls.
One you can do,
One
one
they
they don't
came up with a
know.
solution for.
What is the recall? But seriously,
No idea.
the factory has recalled them. And they don't have a solution to their
Most
recall?
of the time, it's like a software thing. So the first one, they released the solution. And I don't know when they're gonna actually like implement it, but the second solution for repair hasn't even been announced as to how to do it yet. So I got word from our sales rep today, that's been estimated to be 30 days, but it could be longer, it could be short. So,
You can't win.
no,
All right,
like I said, Haskins taking the chief position, his last day is gonna be November 16th. And they have initiated the honor guard. The honor guard will help in whatever way they can. So Montague doesn't have an honor guard, so we volunteered our honor guard to help with a pinning ceremony if he does it or something to that effect. One way or the other will be there. We talked about Faith Rockwood, Cindy talked about it. Our honor guard will make a presence at her services tomorrow as well, which again, she was a huge supporter of us, so we'll be there.
that's very nice. of you. Do that. You can skip the cruiser part.
All right. My 3rd bullet says it all. That's
Refer back to bullet 2.
Well, other than that, we're doing all right. For response activity, it's been pretty busy on that end. Greenfield had 30 calls, Montague had 8, and 13, and Deerfield had 8 calls. So that we're, our co-responders work 3 areas, as you know, so. All this work is was done in the month of September. They had 7 sections, 5 diversions, no injuries and no arrests or summonses. So they were busy, and this is not including their follow-ups and all that stuff they do when they're not going at the actual calls with the officers.
And I think, Chris, you said last month, you determined. Is it the lieutenants or you determine what calls they go on?
They get dispatched, they're dispatched. Like if it's a mental health call, then they're dispatched to it along with our officers.
So
So
who makes that determination, the dispatcher?
They're on, yeah,
Yeah.
they're on and they'll stay the
you
radio.
got times now Kate sits in there. To listen to incoming calls, so not all the time, but that part of the system, I think we got it down pretty good.
Or if a call is received for a certain call nature and officers arrive and determine that the CSO might help on scene, they might request them over the radio that way. as well.
Okay, that way.
So
There,
the officers on scene dealing with it, because they might be called for noise disturbance or a runaway or something like that, and they might arrive there and it end up being a mental health call that they requested for the response.
They're not shy to call. I mean, if there's any whiff of any advantage to having them there, they will call for CSO right away if they're not already on scene.
Yeah, you can, okay.
I have one more thing for all of you.
So you're at gate.
It was a privilege to observe the qualifications that you had. Being invited was very nice of you, Chris, thank you. I first off was impressed with the instructors, their professionalism. Very, very good. And I was thankful for the opportunity to meet so many of our great officers. Just fantastic. I was so pleased, and kudos to all of you for keeping the esprit de corps up. Thank you.
Yeah, no, we appreciate that too. And Brandon does a really good job. Our firearms instructors for a while have been I'm talking top-notch professional. Chris started that really years ago now. When he took over, it really kind of like got the jokes off the field. And let's actually, I've seen him almost get shot, literally a shot next to his foot, which was, that's
bad
just
thing.
weird.
One time, two times.
Yeah, 2 times.
No.
It's, you can do it in a way that's, it's still sort of a little bit of levity there, but it's professional. This is not the time to play around, joke around, and Brandon's taken over very well with that too. He puts on a pretty good role.
Absolutely.
Yep. Yep. He cares about it, he's got a passion for it, and that really helps.
Brand,
That's good.
Mr. Lemay.
Yep,
I mean, they were right on. They were,
we will be certain to pass them. Yes.
because they deserve it. They deserve some praise.
They're actually gonna come up, Brandon approached me in the gym and asked if he could expand to, we're always trying to add something for sort of a pride builder, confidence builder. And he's setting up something. I gave him a little license to shop around for maybe like a pin that shows like the top shooter for this particular round. So someone can wear that badge of honor for the next 6 months until the next falls. That may inspire them to kind of go out on their own to send some downrange on their off time and be able to wear sort of that Top Gun pin for 6 months. So we're working on that right now. So everybody's coming with some pretty good ideas. I really appreciate it. Everybody's putting their 2 cents in, or a lot are putting their 2 cents in. And we're making some pretty great strides in there.
We're still working on the firearms possibility. Okay.
Yeah. Yes.
Comment.
Yes.
I really appreciate the fact that y'all are welcoming to, those suggestions. You're not saying, it's a bad idea or whatever, but you're encouraging, those ideas and helping them develop them. It's great.
Way I've always done it, even as like a shift supervisor, it's a democracy until it can't be. In the heat of a stressful situation, shut up and listen. But daily operations come out, let's talk about it. I'm not the smartest guy, more heads are better than one, so let's all put our heads together. So as a command staff, that's what we do as well. So when they come to us with that, we discuss it, it's a good idea, then let's talk about it, let's try to fix it. People spend money, Jay Batinsky's good at that, right? But, so we gotta stop him every now and then, but I don't know where you got that from. His predecessor. But no, that's just, again, it's a democracy until it can't be. And they're really good at that. When something really happens, crisis hits, just get to it.
Thank you.
Right, appreciate you showing up, showing interest and taking a look at what's going on. Is probably what you're talking.
You're next.
Yep.
Any more comments, questions?
I look
Got it,
forward
Gilly,
to,
Sue.
I look forward to spring outing.
All right, we thank you for your time. Appreciate it. Some of you might want to stay up here for our next item. So under public safety, we have review a complaint that we got from the Greenfield Skate Park. Mayor, would you like to come up and participate in this? You don't have to. It's fine, you're here, but you don't have to come up if you feel like you don't want to. But anybody in the room here, the two chiefs, can join this conversation about this.
got one.
Yes. Oh, you do? Go ahead. Sorry.
Nothing super important. I picked Sergeant Cloutier's brain because I know that the last meeting, she went over a lot of the future community events
Sure.
and stuff that are
Yes.
coming up. So tomorrow, I know she spoke about at the last meeting, tomorrow starts the Big Brothers Big Sisters Lunch Buddies sort of program where Sergeant Cloutier, Officer Llewellyn, and his partner Frank, and CSO Caitlin are going to go and have lunch with them at the Federal Street School. We've also got our trunk or treat at the Greenfield Police Department on the 25th. There's a sensory friendly period of time from 1:15 to 1:45, and then after that until 4, it's open to anybody.
Right.
Right after that, and even sort of overlapping at the end of that, there's Beat Fog Nozzle. We've got the trunk or treat. We're helping out with that. We're also hopefully going to decorate a little bit at least of the downtown substation for the Rack Shack Parade. And for all those kids kind of parading downtown. And kind of in line with what Maria was talking about, the month of November, Veterans Day is coming up. We've got the Hometown Heroes event coming up at the Tractor Supply Company, where some members of our department are going to be going, and it's an event to recognize first responders, military veterans, where there's going to be touch a truck and a bunch of people there helping out. And also we've got several officers attending the DARE program training in the month of November.
When's the Tractor Supply event?
The Tractor Supply is November 1st
Okay.
from 10 to 2.
Keep going.
So if the fire department has a touch a truck, can we have a touch a cruiser? Just kidding.
Whoever's on duty, have them come down.
Well, as soon as they get a truck, it'll be a
I
truck.
know. If
Yeah, we
you
got-
have extra
we got
crews,
3
then
hours, we don't have any-
That's the
No
thing.
touching trucks?
Yes, we can-
And the
cruisers
callback
to
is
get
all
'em.
taken care of 5 months from
We got a
now.
whole parking work we did, we touch if you want.
But the scooter.
We'll call it push a truck.
Sergeant, anything else?
No, I think that was it. That was all the upcoming ones. And like Cindy spoke about, we had the Town of Montague Community Safety Day. We had a couple officers, Limoges and Zigmont, go over and help out there. And we also attended and was one of the very, very many 75+ agencies at the Fall Public Safety Festival
It's great.
about a week or 2 ago.
That's
all.
Good guys. Thank you. We appreciate your time. Okay, all right. Let's move on. So,
Want us to leave or?
no, if you'd like to participate, yes, you can. I'm sure you have something to say. You always do.
And so
I mean, it's good information, what you say.
Yeah.
Okay, so we had a complaint from a parent about the skate park. She was concerned about folks there. I don't have the complaint up on my phone, but it was basically a complaint about trash and things like that, and maybe some people there drinking after hours and so on and so forth. So I think I know there's been an email going around, the mayor has been on it. And Todd, you've been on it, Christie has been on it. So I wanted to kind of update the other public safety commissioners about the complaint, to make sure that they could have some concerns. But basically, I mean, that was the complaint, that a parent was concerned for their kids when they go down there, that, it's kind of, was a little bit messy. I think some beer cans, some maybe people partying and that type of thing. And their concern was, these young kids there. But there's been, Christie has been involved. I think she's been down there a few times, I believe, which is great. And we're talking about plans just to kind of, proactively keep the place spruced up and, you know, I know Todd, you have some ideas about that. So I kind of want to throw that out on the table and talk about it a little bit.
So first and foremost, thank Christie, she is taking point. I mean, it's her area and she's not shying away from that even a little bit. Not long ago, the deputy chief and I made our way down there and actually had to eradicate a few tents that were between that and the grapevine.
Oh, I didn't realize
You know,
that.
we're on the, right across from the cells, so. He actually, deputy chief was ripping tents out of the woods and old e-bikes and. So I think a lot of what you were seeing was probably from the inhabitants of that tent community a little bit. I'm sure there's more. Whenever we've had a skate park, people do exactly what you're saying. Shocker, people litter, they drink, it's weird, but we can't catch them all. But the downtown business district officers know to take a look. Dispatch does have eyes on that place when they have time. It is a camera location for us, so.
There is camera, right?
Yeah,
3 of them.
Yeah,
3 of them for that
3 on that
area.
area, there's
so
a
it's,
fourth
it's
one
trash.
that's down.
It's people that are littering. It's really what it comes down to. So I know Christie is trying to take point in organizing a cleanup group that kind of sweeps through on a regular basis. And many volunteers, including people from our agency, mayor's office, said they'll help. I mean, that's just how we do it. So no problem. We'll walk through, we'll pick stuff up. It's not something we haven't done before. Will it keep happening? Sure.
Yeah, it's gonna happen.
We'll be there as much as we can.
I think Christie's idea of having like an annual thing, I mean. I know the mayor has initiated that type of thing downtown. I think it's a good idea to include the skate park. I mean, the skate park is for the kids. So, I mean. The kids are seeing things going, we don't, you know. We don't want the kids to be affected by it. It's a fun place and a positive place for them.
It's gonna
So,
come down to the, you know, the frequency in which the cleanups are done. It's really- How often we need it? And again, we'll patrol it as we can. It's on the radar. It's on the business district officer's radar. Jake and Zoe are doing an amazing job. They continue to do an amazing job downtown. Jake was there when we were pulling tents out, and so too was 2 or 3 other sheriff's department employees.
okay,
So it's, I mean, we're around, we're checking it out, but they're not gonna throw trash when we're standing there. It's 5 seconds after we leave.
and I think there was some issues with the parking lot too, next door, but that's a different thing.
Mm-hmm.
But we appreciate you walking down there and keeping an eye on the place. Commissioners, do you have any questions or concerns or any ideas?
I drove by one evening and there was a group up towards the top end of Chapman. You know, the top end of the parking lot in Chapman. I don't know how many there were, 8 or 10 sitting on the curb there, and then there was people on the skate park and everything else. It was hard to see, you know, what was going on, and I can see that it's a policing issue. It's not something that you can immediately take care of. I find it unfortunate that the kids themselves don't understand. If you see trash, pick it up, put it in the facility, make it clean. It's your place. Let them own it. See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That they own the right to use it. They own the right to keep it clean. The problem I see is that there may be adults that are coming into that area and, you know, utilizing it for other purposes rather than skate park.
I'm absolutely certain there's plenty that are picking stuff up. They exist. Right? But there's also the other side. And then you get to the point where you're like, well, I keep cleaning it up and people keep leaving it there. So even the people that want to clean it up and have cleaned it up are like, I give up. I'm gonna clean it up. That's where it goes.
Hey, you have comments?
I do. This is what I want to say, the thing about all the good people that there are in town, and this is like a little opportunity for anybody who wants to like think about this particular place. Because we're called for this one, that this one needs a little bit of attention, so if you live nearby, it's on my radar screen, because as you know, I like to get out of the office. This is a place where anybody could go, like make this like your little mission. I think as the, like maybe the rec commission, or we could make a thing like, let's do this one twice a year, like we're doing parking garage a couple of times a year. Got a little messy, let's put in our mind, we're gonna do twice a year. But there are citizens that go and do, if they go do Beacon Field, like there's people that live and go around Beacon Field, I think this is so wonderful. They just go and pick up the trash there, the people that live nearby. They didn't make the trash. And really, you're right. The kid, you know, they teach this in school and I taught my own children, I would like that, my kids would never, actually, they would not throw anything out the window ever. But maybe we as good adults can show these children and get out there and pick a little spot in the neighborhood, wherever it is that you live, and go out and be a good citizen, and maybe you'll be showing the children and they'll be better citizens themselves. But at any rate, if everybody adopted a little place, it would be just, wouldn't it be a better place? But I do know people pick different little spots. They go and do like over by the high school. And you know, always have a couple of gloves in your pocket. The chief and I we walked over by the skate park, and yeah, it's a few little things, but stuff some gloves in your pocket and make it a little better wherever you are. Or if you don't have gloves, go wash your hands after. Be better with gloves. Be better with gloves on. I'm sorry, I should have said that.
We have some at the
Okay.
substation.
Where we want to do the Greenfield dollars.
So that's all. I think it's, I don't know what it is. We shouldn't nobody should throw trash on the ground, but it all starts with us. That's how I look at it. That's my little speech for the day.
Model behavior we want to see.
Okay, it all starts with us.
There's a gentleman that walks, just so you know, mate, there's a gentleman that walks up Country Club
Yes.
Road. All the way.
3 times a week.
All the way up to the end, and he picks up trash, and then he comes back the other way. And
Shorter
it's,
guy, bald.
My neighbor, no,
No,
my neighbor, Al.
I know. I think it's wonderful.
that's what he
Shorter
does.
guy, bald, no, what
The
a
chicken
job.
eradicator.
I mean,
Okay.
is it your neighbor? Cause I don't know who it is, but I thank him all the time. I thank him all the time, so.
His
Does it
children, do it, they have the longest running, Cub Scout. It's Troop 5. Have I got that right?
Can
His
you make
daughter
it a
runs
little
it.
further south? in
Yeah,
South
they run up the Cub Scout. It's the longest running Cub Scout group I think I have that right, in Greenfield. I'm like, yeah, I mean, it's like good citizens out there. And, you know,
But man, he gets one of those little things. he
well,
can
yeah,
pick it
the
up. He
clippers,
doesn't have
I
to
got
use
one of
gloves.
those in my office.
I got a bunch.
But I'm like, it's good. My mother would always say stooping's good for the waistline, right? Obviously, I've been doing enough of it lately, but you know, it's just a good thing, and you feel better, you're doing something. But, you know, a friend of mine, and we were like, oh, we gotta get back over to Sanderson's, by Sanderson Street. I went back and somebody had done it. And, you know,
Thank you,
that's
Mayor.
my little corny thing for the day.
Well, we thank you. Any other concerns or comments about the subject?
Not about that, but I do have one question, and I apologize because I know that several months ago I asked this and was given an answer, and then I did not do anything about it, but if there's a safety, security issue in terms of, so out in front of my house again, this last weekend, there was another car accident. Just a bad intersection. It's 2 stop signs.
Silver and Davis?
Yep, Silver and Davis, and it's such a bad area, so. I believe that when I asked the question before, there was a process or a way I could go online and. Do a report or request for
Mass DOT.
Mass DOT, okay. And I know there was something that I could do to, kind of report it, or at least find a way that we can. Do something, evaluate the situation, it's just really bad there, and
It's a bad road.
it's just a bad area, and people took speed, and then, you know, certain times of the day, there's sun in your face, you know, if you're going. Heading towards the Greenfield swimming pool, you know, you've got the sun and everything, and so it's hard to see sometimes, and.
I think all of us have been in agreement, including the chief, that the street needs to be broken up by
Right,
something, a
Davis,
light or something, but
Davis or Country Club.
it starts with Mass DOT.
Slow them down, something, one spot in the middle.
It's a long process. I already did it once.
Yeah.
So it's, that's something that happens.
okay.
every night,
I'm
Especially with Mass
I'm not
DOT.
currently working, so I have more time.
There you go.
Please bring the information back to the Public Safety Commission.
Dave Sander.
Any other comments or questions?
I have a couple of
So check it wrong.
Okay,
Did we not invite the DPW to come down here?
I put a call into the DPW last month and I haven't heard back from them about attending our meetings. I don't know if anybody else has an update on that.
Well, I need to go see them about this 5K, or whatever, because I really do think that they should be at the table. Then the other folks is the sheriff's department. They have been instrumental in supporting our police. And, maybe have somebody from their department come and, see how they fit into the public safety.
Yeah, I think you could invite them every once in a
In
while.
most cases, we can speak for them. They're just sort of ancillary for the most part. So they don't get dispatched. They do, but they don't. Like, it's our calls. They're on our radio, they roll with us and they follow. So again, we can tell you basically everything you need. Jake Clay, he's the one downtown, he's doing our business district stuff, so you'll see what he's doing with Zoe. But
And they were here once, both, which they were both here at the meeting. I don't-
So I think it's a good idea, though, to have a focus each
Yeah.
month of invited guests. I think
Okay,
it's a
we can
good
do that.
idea. Now that we have some help from our clerk, safety commission clerk. Maybe that's something that we could, do an actual more formal invitation and ask almost for like a guest speaker each month for them to tell us like what they do or, how we can help them or how they can help us.
Yep, we can do that. And I know Megan is working on things like that too, and inviting folks from other groups to come here and for domestic violence and that type of thing. So yeah, we could talk about that and do that.
So I have not seen too much communication on my Greenfield email. And I'm wondering, because sometimes I don't quite catch everything that you, community stuff, you shut me off.
That's a door access.
No, but it's good to hear first, as soon as something is planned that you want us to be involved in. One of us was always tries to be at all the functions here for the police department, the fire department, the AMR and stuff like that. I personally would appreciate as soon as you plan something, say it's happening, because like today, there was something really
We can
important.
include you on the mail, and we can do our special unit can get you, put the commission on their
Like
mailing thing. You should know about, it, absolutely.
the YMCA had something going on that I felt was very important, but I didn't get it. Facebook, like half an hour before, I could have been,
Yeah.
I
We
tried to
started several months back because we need to know what's going on, so we had organized a calendar. And it's got a prescribed group of people in it. There's nothing easy enough to add a commission, so you can see all these things going.
All right, that would be good.
No, whatever Megan's, it's an email chain.
Lieutenant Butinski usually sends them out.
Yep, we'll make it happen.
All right.
Yep.
Anything else? So, I'm not quite sure about the schedule for November. We'll have to discuss it amongst us
because of
as far as the schedule, because the fourth Wednesday is the day after Thanksgiving in November. And then in December, it is right around day before Christmas. So we'll either have to talk about changing the day or the week, or skipping one of the months and then moving on to the beginning of the year. But I'll send out a communication on that. Chief?
In the past, the commission's usually done the first week of December.
Okay,
So it does November, December, and
right, that's a good idea.
I
So,
know that I will need a meeting before the first of the year.
okay.
So
And usually the first meeting,
Everybody will.
yeah, the first meeting, so maybe we'll plan a date. I'll get a date for that will work for all of us. But we'll try to do one meeting between the next 2 months.
December 3rd.
Yeah, and
It's gonna be a little tight for us, but we'll see what we can do.
okay. So maybe December 10th, possibly, second week. But I'll throw an email out there and we'll talk about it.
We also do November's on like the 19th or something.
I mean, we could have a meeting in November and December if we change the date. We just need to kind of agree on what we want to do, but let's agree as a commission first, and then we'll propose it to the teams, all right?
First Friday.
And then January, we have a reorganization, so we don't want to do it that night, that time. Because that's when we reorganize, so we'll need the time. That meeting's mostly focused on us reorganizing. And that could take hours.
Definitely need some organization.
Well, you know, we have to discuss budgetary items and stuff like that coming up.
Yeah, you gotta have a discussion about capital before that.
Capitals and stuff like that have to happen and have to be vetted through us.
Should be
It's just to
done.
say we
Yeah,
give our blessings or we don't give our blessings or give them more cruisers.
okay.
And we
All
got, we got a lot of stuff done.
That don't have a punch list.
We'll come up with the dates and we'll work with the chiefs on the dates for those. I just wanted to throw it out there. It probably won't be the regular dates that we have our meetings. Anything else from the commissioners?
Negative.
All right, motion to adjourn,
So move.
second? All in favor, aye. Chief, could you kill the recording? Thank you, everybody for attending.